Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another beautifully blessed, peaceful, prosperous, productive, and phenomenally powerful night. We are your hosts, Tori the Barber, the one and only, the only one under the sun, and the man with the plan, my right hand man, the myth, the legend, Free Will Code.
What's happening, y'all? Free Will Code in the building. Thank you and welcome to another edition of the Free Will Podcast, where we create a community that inspires and empowers growth. You know, we're helping each other become the best versions of ourselves. What's happening, Tori? How you doing today, my boy?
Man. Another day. 6 feet.
Yeah.
No, I'm not 6 feet above ground, but I'm on ground. I'm not 6 feet below ground, so it's a blessing. I'm in the building. Right. How you feeling?
Oh, man, I'm feeling pretty good, man. Productive day. I was in my zone. Every time I'm in the shop by myself, I be in the zone. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I be in that thing moving, because I guess because if I ain't moving, ain't nothing gonna get done. So, you know what I'm saying? And then too, like, once if I'm in here chilling while it's just me, get the piling up on you know what I'm saying? So, man, so, you know, today was a productive day, so I still got some juices flowing from that, man. What about you? How's your day today?
Today for me was a pretty productive day. I can say that myself. I've been doing, man, lately, over the last couple of days, from this past Monday, I've been doing 2-a-day gym sessions, and oh man, I'm feeling it right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't know. I ain't do my second session today. I got a lot going on tonight, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I might have to scoot that one back a day, but I've been doing pretty good with that. But today, I'm just feeling the effects of that. But outside of that, today was a productive day, if I do say so myself.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Listen, I'm grateful.
Telling people what you grateful for.
Listen. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for the man up above. Man, I owe it all. I owe it all to him. You know what I'm saying? He watches over me. He makes sure I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? All praise to him. Listen, I'm thankful for my lady. She the one, the only one under the sun, like Toast say. You heard me? I'm grateful for her, man. I'm grateful for my grandma, man. You know, I ain't put her on the map in a while. I'm thankful for my grandma. Thankful for my little brother. Shout out to him. He just moved into his new apartment. Hey, bro, we making progress over here. You know what I'm saying? So, man, shout out to him. He the one. Small thing, man. Listen, I am thankful to have. Okay, I can't shake it. I seen fingernails. The first thing I looked down, but I couldn't shake it. I couldn't choose nothing else. So I'm thankful for my fingernails. Yeah. I got some nice fingernails, and they grow. They still grow. I still gotta clip them. You know, they shiny. I ain't seen some other fingernails, and listen, you know, hey God bless them too. But you know what I'm saying?
They come in various shapes, sizes, and unnatural colors.
I couldn't have said it no better. I can open stuff up with my finger. Hey, man, I'm blessed to have that, man. What about you? What you grateful for, son?
Oh, man. I'm thankful. All praises to the Most High, first and foremost. All praises to the Most High, man. I'm thankful for this day, man, that be able to do the Free Will Podcast once again. And I'm just grateful, man. I just been in a season of gratitude, honestly. Just over the last month, just been a month of building and just finding myself and just all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just thankful for God. I'm thankful for the journey and the path that I'm on, and in the direction I'm headed. Oh man, next, I gotta put my wonderful kids on the map, Kaisley and Nevaeh. I'm so thankful for to have them. Kaisley's birthday is actually this month. My birthday is on the 13th of March, which is coming up soon. But also, Kaisley's birthday is on the 18th. So we in the building with the March Pisces on the map.
Yeah,
you heard me? Shout out to all the March birthdays. You know what I'm saying? I know my dog coming up in April next month. You know what I'm saying? So
but look,
it's a back-to-back thing.
We got another one on the 8th. On March 8th, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
See what I'm saying? We in the building, the first lady on the 8th. You heard me? We deep.
Yeah.
We deep, man. And speaking of the first lady, man, I want to give a special shout out to my first lady. Man, I just want to thank her for everything that she do, every purpose that she served in my life. You know what I'm saying? Still being here with me, rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? A1 since day one. I'm thankful to have two living parents, man. Still having two living parents, and just being able to call them, you know what I'm saying, when you want, when you can, and different things like that, and just having access to them. And also to my clients, because of course I come on here as Tori the Barber, so it's only right that I put y'all on the stage. If I'm on the stage, y'all on the stage. You dig? Because there is no Tori the Barber without y'all. You dig?
Yeah, heard,
man. And my one small thing, ooh, man, I'm grateful for the ability. I'm just grateful to be able. I'm grateful to be able to, you know what I'm saying, just to be able to
always
do.
giving a huge a general yeah, that's huge. You ain't able. What you can do if you ain't able, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
It's just one of those things. It's one of those things that's just overlooked. It's easily overlooked. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, I guess I look at it like that. It's not really a small thing, but it's one of those things that's easy to overlook. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's that, man. That's what I'm thankful for, Mr. Cole.
Yes, sir. Without further ado, go ahead on and bow our heads. Give a moment of silence for our brand new subscribers.
Yes,
and
Lord.
The ones that get post notifications. Yes, Lord. Man, I appreciate everybody who comes and joins us every week to come and see the growth and come and get some growth. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
If you don't got a D on that thing, I don't know what you're doing. Listen to me. Go ahead, press that like button. Send us some love and energy. You know what I'm saying? We promise we'll send it right back.
You did.
You heard, man. Eto, you want to go ahead on and drop something on your head. I don't know what it is. What you going to drop? I don't know what you going to drop.
Let's drop that. Word on the street. Word on the street. Word on the street.
New U.S. law could see men fined $10,000 for ejaculating without intent to conceive.
What?
Groundbreaking law has been proposed in Ohio that will make it a felony for men to ejaculate unless they intend to conceive a child. The legislation introduced by Democratic House Representative Anita Samani seeks to regulate male reproductive rights in the same way as women's. Abortion continues to be a continuous issue in America, particularly since the Supreme Court overruled Roe versus Wade, allowing each state to independently determine its abortion laws. You don't get pregnant on your own, stated Samani, adding, if you're going to penalize someone for an unwanted pregnancy, why not penalize the person who is also responsible for the pregnancy? The bill, known as Conception Begins at Erection Act, would criminalize any man in the state who discharges semen without the intent to fertilize. Yes, sir. This is interesting, man. You know, this sparks up a debate that's been around for a very long time that gets people heated. You know, it's I don't know, it's tough, right? It's very complex. It's a lot of points on both sides, I would say.
Sure.
And me personally, I'm not mad at because I believe this is just a, you know, I don't think they're serious enough to actually get this thing passed, but it's a what you call it, like a connecting piece. You know, I call some things connecting piece when it gives you a certain perspective. You feel what I'm saying? And the perspective is, hey, how stupid does this sound when a man can't even ejaculate, right? The perception is, hey, this is, you know, how would this sound if I'm able to control your body? You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, it does put it in a different perspective. You know, like, I'll be outraged. You know what I'm saying? I know a whole lot of other people will be outraged, right? And it's a point, man. You know, I've always stood by the point that I don't think that I think if you're having, of course, if you're out here just willy-nilly just slinging that thing around, or just, you know, on the other side slinging that thing around, you know, whatever happens, you know, because, you know, a lot of times in life we do things that we're just present in the moment, when sometimes we should be thinking about the consequences of our actions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But at any time when, you know, there's something unwanted, like a woman gets taken advantage of, and, you know, something out of that, you know, I personally do not, you know, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that, too?
Well, I think that the initial, I believe if I could recall properly from the what. Oh,
I was about to say, anytime to say, well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Somebody go down.
Somebody go down. You know what I'm saying? From the article, I believe the reporter reported that the lady said that I think a part of the intent for the bill to even be brought up was to, because that's kind of a ridiculous thing, right? To like fine a man $10,000 for ejaculating without whatever. The thing about it is that I guess her biggest point was like how absurd it would be for us to try to control a man's natural ability to do what he wants with his body. Why would you want to put parameters around what a woman could do with her body? You know what I'm saying? And trying to dictate and control that thing. You gave a very good point about women who may be at the hands of like abuse or have been, assaulted and different things, and there's a pregnancy that's a consequence of that moment taking place. But me, I feel like people should be able to, do what they want to do. If you want to have an abortion, if you want to do whatever you want to do, that's your business. Because I do believe that God allow things to happen. Just like you was taken advantage of and now you pregnant, that was allowed to happen for whatever the purpose was. But you go, even if it's not an assault case and it's just like you just out here recklessly getting pregnant and then you want to go get an abortion, I feel like that should be your right. Now, is it right in the biblical sense? And they're like, no. Is it a sin? Yeah, maybe, right? But at the same time, it's your world, squirrel. Like, do what you like. You laid out. My thing is this, though. This has always been the thing that I had, like, because I've matured a lot since I initially kind of had this thought form. But when people would say, like, a woman would say, like, "Well, you think you God? You trying to take a life and you trying to take the?" Well, I played God when I made it. That was my mindset. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We laid down here together and created a life and we played God. So if I say, nah, I ain't rocking with that, then that, or if the woman be like, she not rocking with that, then hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just kind of like my thoughts on the thing. But I do understand I believe I understand the nature of her initiating this bill just to kind of like change, shed light on the perspective of like, listen, if that's ridiculous for a man to be fined to do such things, then it's ridiculous for y'all to try to control what we do with our body. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that.
For sure, man. If you got any any thoughts, any opinions, or even concerns, drop that down in the comments, man. Let us know what you're thinking about this thing, right? So listen, today we're gonna be talking about the targets that we often miss in our lives, whatever target that they may be, whether your goals and aspirations, maybe it's character goals, or maybe it's something simple. Maybe it's even as simple as you literally missed the basket when you shot the basketball. Sometimes we don't, or I've never heard anyone talk a lot about the reason why we missed those targets. It's always, hey, we weren't good enough, or whatever happens, that it goes to negative is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
And we often misidentify like the real issues. You know what I mean? And I think that comes from a lot of self-reflection, maybe our environment and stuff like that. But I want to ask you, To, like, why do you think, just generally getting us started, man, why do you think we often, or just throw some things out there, why do you think we often misidentify the real reason why we miss certain targets in life?
I think we all living in some sort of simulation in life.
That's big.
We all living in a dream, in a sense. We all have our own personal dream that we living in. And before we got to an age where we had like the responsibilities that we do as an adult, our perspective was shaped You know what I'm saying? Like it was it's a lot of pieces in our lives that we had very minimal say so about. You know what I'm saying? So I just think naturally when you have a whole bunch of different aspects and components when it comes down to like how you express your personality, the sports that you played and different things that, you know, that your parents may put you in, or the things that you didn't have access to as a kid or growing up, naturally just kind of shape your perspective in life. And so that kind of translate, I believe, into, you know, why we kind of misidentify issues in our lives, because we have environment. We have this thing called environment that we spoke about before, to where you kind of, as a kid especially, you pick up on what's around you. So if I'm naturally picking up on what's around me, I'm operating in a certain way that to me seems normal, but to the outside world, it may be a problem, or is a reason why I'm not reaching the level of success that I want to achieve. Is a reason why, you know, is a reason for a lot of different things. But I just think naturally, culturally, just environmentally, you know, there's just things that seem natural to us that we operate out of that could be the very thing that's holding us back. So I think just generally to get started, that's kind of like what caused some of them, us being, you know, misidentifying the real issues.
Yeah, and you know, those things like those environments that you talked about, the way we grew up, you know, the people we have around us, they create, I would say, shortcuts, right? They create shortcuts in our mind because we don't overly think things like almost 80-90% of the time. Like concentration and thinking about something is an intentional thing. Definitely. And we're only intentional if we're intentional, if that makes sense. Yeah. You know, so if you just kind of going through the day, and especially if you're doing things like you're not really intentional about driving. If you've been driving for years, you just do it. Just hop in the car, you just get to driving, right? You could be driving wrong. Like I get in the car with my girl all the time, and I'm like, dang, you hit the brakes this hard all the time? You know what I'm saying? Right. And but when she in the car by herself, she just like she never hit nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So in her mind it's good, right? She ain't really seeing how the road is getting tore up. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, for one, the thing I want to shed some light on is anything that we're not intentional about, know that it is a shortcut in your mind that comes from something that was developed in your environment and the way you grew up, and you know, the friends, the people the company that you keep, which is part of your environment, right? And you know, a lot of times we put out intentional thoughts but not intentional actions. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I like, you know, like I think a while back I was like, you know, I want to speak better, right? I want to have better words and better diction. Me saying that alone isn't going to get me those things. I'm going to have to go and crack open the dictionary or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to go and maybe get me a tutor that'll tell me about the words. I think we lost Toe right quick. Toe, you still there?
You can hear me, Cole?
Uh-oh. I think we lost him. So a lot of times, you know, we want some things to change, and you know, we're actually not doing the things that we need to do to change those things, you know. And I think that's probably gonna be my biggest thing, man. That's always my biggest thing with myself. Like it's like, you know, even with things around you, you know, what is it that you can do? Because God gave us a certain level of control, and I don't think we realize it. We don't, you know, like you don't have to be in an environment still, or you don't have to be, you don't still have to be at that job. You don't still, like a lot of things that you actually have control over, but you don't really see it because with the job, you like, hey, I need money. You know what I'm saying? I can't just leave my job and not get paid. But they got like 50 million other jobs out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey,
not the,
but listen,
I guess in a sense,
but that is true for some people. That's true for the people that can't, like Jaden right now, my little brother. That dude go get a job anywhere because his resume so fire. His resume so far, he can go get a job anywhere, right? That's something that he had control of. That he had control over, and he took control over it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now he doesn't have that problem. At first, you know, we like, hey, ain't nobody hiring. No, ain't nobody hiring you. You know what I'm saying?
And why is they not hiring you?
You know what I mean? It's because you know you didn't put the work in. And here's a major point though. I'm a stop right here. I'm gonna say that a lot of us really don't know that. We're really not aware of that level of control because of how tainted our minds are. You know what I'm saying? You know, we think that everything that we see that's in front of us is everything that's in front of us. And it's not the truth. You know, God made an abundant world in front of, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that we can do. We just don't see it, right, Toe? So
yeah.
What you think about that, man?
No, I think that's a good perspective, man. I think that's a good way of explaining that too. And for the most part, like you said, we born with we have a certain level of awareness that we need to be able to tap into. I think that goes hand in hand with what you just said. Like you said, you know, Jaden resume stack. He got such a padded resume that he could go get he can go get hired in just about anywhere he want to go get hired. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't have that, but we stuck in a mindset to where it's like, why don't I have a plethora of opportunities? Why don't I have, you know, why the red carpet not rolled out for me? But you look at it like the world is broken instead of looking at it like, what could I have done or what can I do to add value to myself to where I could put myself in a better position, to where I can go get another job, or to where I can, you know, have the flexibility to maneuver if I want to maneuver. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, just to add on to what you were saying, man, that's what I think about that.
Yeah. And to add that society perspective, because this is always a element in everything that we talk about, you know, the way that society shapes our minds and shapes our perspective. You know, of course, again, we don't see the building of resumes on Instagram. We only see the resume after it was made already. You know, so once we go and, you know, once we like the way we actually look at it, like, why my resume not made? I'm just not somebody who have a built resume, and that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? That's you, bro. That's just not me. I see you doing your thing on Instagram. You got the resume, you got the cars, the clothes, but bro, I didn't like. There's a block there. There's a block between the belief that you can actually have that. Like there's a block in the belief that anything is possible, and believe that. Like I'd rather like people, you know, some people come at me, they're like, all right, bro, I hear anything is possible, but like I'd rather believe anything is possible and act like I believe everything is possible than not to believe everything is possible and don't act like that and have limitations that I didn't know that was actually possible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like self-inflicted limitations.
Right. So let the world put those limitations on you. I mean, let God put those limitations on you. Don't put them on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so go into this thing like that's the first thing that needs to shift in your mindset, right? Because when that shifts, when you realize that there is always a solution to the problem, then you start to ask deeper questions.
For
right?
Sure.
Then you don't move off of that thing until you have a solution. You know what I'm saying? Sure. A lot of us, we like, okay, it don't work, I'm gonna go in on this bar. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it don't work, I'm gonna just let it go because it don't work. There's nothing else they can. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, if it don't work, you need to let it go. But a lot of things, right? Like who says? How can I put this, right? How do you know? Well, I guess we don't know, So I guess we don't know when enough is enough if we ain't know how to try in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
I think with that thought, well, I thought you was going with it. It's like, how do you know? At least that's what my mind went. Like, how do you know if it's not working, and if it's not working, it shouldn't be.
Right.
If you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't necessarily know like that the process is ugly and the process may not be like how you think it's supposed to be. but this is just what your particular process look like. And so, you know, how do you know? But then there's also too that aspect you kind of just said was like the winners say win. You know what I'm saying? It's like and that's a real thing. Like when to say when with certain situations. You know, when do you know? Okay, I missed the shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I you know, I missed the target. Okay, it's time to regroup and try something else. I need to keep forward and keep trying, or maybe it's a meet in the middle, or maybe it's just something else. I don't know, you know, but it's like, when do you say when? Because if you don't have the ability to when to say when, then you have let's just say like you might fall into like a loop, like a recurring cycle. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of talk about touch on what we were saying earlier. Just even having those blind spots. You develop blind spots and awareness and different things, and then it's like you just not really self-aware enough or something like that. So it can go in a multitude of different ways.
Yeah,
but yeah,
for sure,
just
man.
to kind of like add on to that thought you were saying.
Yeah, man. You know, the way you know that you give, I would say this from my knowledge that I know so far of me living this life is, keep figuring out how to do 100%. Keep figuring that out, because none of us truly know really how to give 100% until we have uncovered every stone, every crevice, read every book. You know what I'm saying? There's no, because a lot of times we like, it ain't working, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we didn't really put as what we needed to put into it. You feel what I'm saying? So once you believe that anything is possible, right? Those blind spots are going to start clearing up for you. You know what I mean? And then you get into, and then you start being factual, right? You're able to label things now, right? Yeah. Like what is okay, this is going on. Is this a root cause or is this just a symptom, right? And I know that, okay, this is a symptom. How do I get to that root cause, right? And okay, when I get to this root cause, is this something that I can fix after I've done the research about this? Or is this something that I literally have absolutely no control over? You know what I mean? And you know, research can be brutal, man. Especially with the abundance of information we have out here nowadays. You know, it's the only thing that'll really get you to where you need to go is if you kind of be set on an answer. And give yourself I don't know, Toby, because like I know a lot of people who are, you know, like the greats, you know, like Martin Luther King and stuff like that. Like Martin Luther King in a time, bro, where equality was nowhere to be seen. It was nowhere to be seen, right? He fought for it, even while he's fighting for it, he didn't see a damn change, bro. He didn't see nothing. Right? And he fought for it till the day he died, bro. And it didn't even work when he was here. You know, like that's a different kind of commitment. And I think, you know, that's what kind of gets me confused sometimes. It's like, do I get stuck on this thing? Like with me and my lady, right? Like we could have went a whole lot of ways, bro. We could have a lot of stuff couldn't work, but it changed when I was like, I choose this, and this is what I'm gonna do regardless. Because I don't know. Like I don't know what right or wrong is. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. You know, so sometimes all we gonna have is a vision for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Or we gonna have a decision that we make, meaning to cut everything else off, and we don't have no. There's no other options. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no plan B's. You know, and so that mindset, and you gotta be different to have that mindset, bro. You gotta have some tools in your toolbox, you know, to have that mindset. You know, and where I come from, you know, I struggle to have that mindset. You know, I don't.
For sure.
I come from a lot of comfort, so you know what I'm saying, where if something don't work, I got stuff to fall back on. Grandma got me. Pops got me, mama got me. Anything happens, they got me. Whether or not like not a lot of people know this, right? But even when I made my worst decisions, you know what I'm saying? I made my worst decisions, and they were still there to pick me up. when I was probably supposed to be on my ass.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so to kind of bring that thing back around, man, it's like, sometimes when you going after your target, sometimes you miss your target because you ain't really locked in on that target enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What you think about that?
Something that you said kind of like it got my mind going. And you was kind of like it was kind of like touching on that when to say when point again. Like you were saying, for example, like you and your lady could have went a couple different ways, for example. But you was just like, I don't necessarily know what it's supposed to look like. I don't know if it's supposed to, you know what I'm saying, how the process look or whatever, but you kind of make a decision and you kind of like, you stick with that and you go for that, right? Thing about it is that can be tricky because sometimes we subscribe to things, or we say, for instance, you choose a person. And not that is y'all situation. Just in general, you may choose a person, and it could be that person could, let's just say on the extreme, that person have like a lot of toxic traits. But for whatever the things about that person that made you choose him, that person, which could be various things. It could be trauma, it could be daddy issues, mama issues, whatever issues.
They look good
and whatever. But
you know what I'm saying?
They it's something about them that you get some sort of satisfaction from. That make you choose them. But anyways, you made the choice to choose this person. Is a very toxic relationship on the extreme end. But because this is where it get tricky at, because then if you just continue to choose that no matter what happened, what get done, what they do, what kind of quality of life do you have after that? Like throughout that process. And you clinging to this decision, maybe because you believe that there's nothing else for you after that decision, you know what I'm saying? But you stuck in this situation because of your decision. But to add to that on a kind of a contrast side, I thought about Myron Golden while you was talking, and he said I keep on working on the thing that even when it's not working for me, because for one, I know it's working on me. And I keep going because if the outcome that I'm pursuing this, and if the outcome that I'm in pursuit of will put me in a better situation than I'm in right now currently, I'm gonna keep going after that thing, even though when it don't seem like it's working. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's kind of something that came to mind too. When you were saying what you were saying. So that's just to kind of put some things in perspective. But I do want to talk about those symptoms and root causes, right? Yeah. So in life we have, and because of like those blind spots, because we misidentifying problems, because of it could be societal norms, it could be, like you were saying earlier, like, our mind kind of creates shortcuts, because that's a big part of the brain, like this, to make life simple. How can life get simplified? And so if you go in the refrigerator and you grab a Coca-Cola before you grab a water 2 or 3 times, naturally when you go to the refrigerator, you're gonna be looking for the Coke, you're not gonna be looking for the water. It's gonna be a subconscious decision. And so we kind of fall into the things that we have choices that we've made multiple times, things that we just constantly see going to making predetermined decisions. But when we having issues in any sort of conflict, when we having issues, whether it's in business, in personal relationships, if it's in the gym or whatever the case is, if you're not getting the result that you want, you have to know that in the moment, 100% of the time, like almost 100% of the time, whatever the problem is that's at hand is a symptom. It's going to always be a symptom to a root cause. There's always going to be a build-up before there's an explosion. The explosion may have killed 100 people, but the explosion isn't really the problem. That's the effect that you're experiencing. But the problem was that somebody didn't check something, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't going through the checklist like they were supposed to. So now we got planes dropping out the sky and different things like that.
Hey, bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Don't drive. You know what I'm saying?
As a pilot, before an airplane, not that I never get the plane crashing, but before a plane take off, there is 101 plus probably things that they need to check. They gotta make sure they got no check engine lights on. They gotta make sure it's filled up. They gotta make sure that the sensors, the tires fold out fold or whatever, everything seemed to be functioning properly. Before they gotta make sure that the emergency doors and all that stuff is secure, everything is, they gotta check so many different things before an airplane gotta fly good off the ground. But generally when you have an issue and you have something like a plane crash or in the figurative sense in life, when you experience some sort of crash in life, is because there's a root cause that's being ignored, and now things have grown into kind of like a condition that now you kind of gotta deal with the imminent issue. But don't get lost in the imminent issue. Try to track down the root cause.
Right. And it popped up with a question in my head, like, what is your checklist? Do you even have a checklist? Your checklist should come from your target. What is your target? You go in the refrigerator to get the Coke or the water. What's your target? Is your target to be healthy? Or do you not have a target to be healthy? Is that just something you talk about sometimes? You know what I'm saying? Like, if my target is to be healthy, okay, cool. My target is to be healthy. When I go in the refrigerator, somehow I always end up with a Coke. That's a symptom, right? The root cause to that is the fact that the Coke is maybe in there in the first place, or that, like you say, the Coke is in the front. Or when I go in there all the time, I always my subconscious is getting me. I usually get Cokes when I go in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I need to attack the root cause for a period of time. You know what I'm saying? I need to practice going in the refrigerator and just grabbing waters. That's what I need to do. Like a lot, like, man, my thing, like the thing that it give me a lot to. It's like, cause my life moves so much. Like, I often forget that you have to attack every habit that you have to delete whatever is stopping you from getting to the target. Right? This thing it's a marathon, bro. Like, don't ever think that you about to go in here and set some intention, set a target, even write out a whole plan and think that thing about to go smoothly. Even with you. And even with you, like, bump everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Who's supposed to be doing what they supposed to be doing. Like, you still, like, you trying to drink water and you've been drinking Coke your whole life.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like, or not even a lot of times, we need to learn how to also, in that book where we wrote down our targets, write down what's going to prevent us from hitting our targets and what we need to hit our targets. That develops the checklist, right? My checklist says, hey, I want to be healthy. I gotta go in there and practice getting water out of the thing every day. I gotta go in the grocery store and not go down the chip aisle every day because I know I'm gonna get tempted. You know what I mean? Even if I'm just like, it get crazy, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to be on a level where I don't have it in me right now, but I want to be on a level where I just do stuff just to get rid of the habits. Like they got this
attack the habits, yeah.
Just to straight attack the habit. Like, they got this guy, his name is Jim Quick, I believe, right? He had a brain injury, and so he's deep into this training his brain thing, right? So every time he gets ready for something, he could be clean as all get out. He gonna take a shower. He gonna take a shower because chemically in your mind, when you take a shower, you release different chemicals and helps you think differently, right? Like, how many of us be like, I already took a shower, I ain't about to go do that. You know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you willing to do to actually get rid? Like, that's the thing. What you willing to do it, right? Like, you need to be able to put anything on your checklist and be able to knock anything off of that checklist, right? To attack those root causes. We get the symptoms. What are our symptoms? How do we attack what are the root causes of those symptoms? Boom, we make a checklist to attack that. You know what I mean? So, man, that's life, bro. That's life. That's the whole. To me, that's the whole battle for my scope of how I see things right now. We got a lot of stuff we need to do. A lot of stuff we need to work on. Mm-hmm. How are we attacking those things every day? Do you have a checklist? If you don't have a checklist, I'm sorry. No matter how serious you are about this thing, you are not working on it. Period.
Yeah, because you gotta sometimes you gotta constantly remind yourself what needs work.
Yeah.
You know, I've had times where like we've had meetings, we've had different things, and it's like, okay, well, you sit down and you talk about what needs to get done, but then are you looking at this? You know how like some people write their goals down every day, or they trying to manifest something good in their life, but like where's the same energy when it comes down to fixing the things that's contributing to why you missing the target? You know what I'm saying? Like why you not getting the progress that you looking for? You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the same time, put that same energy, remind yourself of what went wrong. Not so much the way you dwelling on it, the way you beating yourself up, but you reminding yourself what I need to allocate time for, to focus on, so that I can move the needle in this particular area. And then two, Code, just asking better questions. Asking better questions. Asking yourself like what's really behind either how I'm feeling, what's behind, you know, the results that I'm getting, you know, really kind of like break down exactly what's going on if you're not getting the result that you're looking for. And then from that point on, that's where you kind of develop your list. And from that list, you know what you need to work on, you know. You have any other things you want to add on, or, you know, any kind of tips of anything practical?
Yeah. Nah, man, I just what you made me think about just now was sometimes those questions take a few days to get an answer to, because like everything else, you actually need a skill to ask better questions, and you also need a skill to answer questions better.
Okay.
You know, so the expectation of time should be removed. You know, I know that's something I went through. It's like, okay, cool, I'm doing the thing. Where's my results? You don't know you're nowhere near what you need or who you need to be to actually make that thing happen. So just fall in love with the craft or with the art of getting better. With the process, you know.
So when you say the time thing, you mean just the time that it takes to yield results. Don't just kind of get that out of your mind per se.
Yeah. Yep. Just you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you do have like deadlines, for example, it's like if you don't reach that deadline, you think you're doing something wrong, or you think you failing, or whatever the case is, and then you end up changing directions when you just needed to keep going, keep drilling a little bit longer. 3 inches shy of striking gold.
A goal, yeah.
You turn around, man. So I feel that.
Yes, sir. Without further ado, take us out of the game.
Well, man, we just want to thank each and every single one of y'all. Everybody who watched, everybody who witnessed, everybody who was in attendance, and everybody who was attentive. We just want to thank y'all for being the best part of the Free Will Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the podcast, the conversation. We want you to become part of the conversation, so hit that comment section. Make sure you give your feedback, what you thought, what you felt, what you're working on, and we just want to be a part of the growth with you. We want to, continue to build a community. And also, too, you can catch us here next Friday, 8:30 Central Time, right here on the Free Will Podcast. But cool, don't just meet us there.
Beat us there, you heard?
Yeah, dig, and we gonna see y'all again on the next one.